Okay, let's take a look at these here. This is the last section in chapter 2, and it's really just problem solving. They're giving you problems that you have to solve, and it's using maybe some of the strategies that they've taught you in this chapter here. So let's take a look at this. It says Monica wants to buy all the art supplies shown on this sign. This is the sign right here, and it gives you the cost of an easel and paints and a smock and a canvas board. I'm curious, that one word smock, does anybody know what a smock is? Anybody? I see 1, 2 hands. You two Rochambeau, we'll see who, well now it's 3, but it's too late. You two Rochambeau. Hurry up. Okay, what's a smock?
I think it's something that you use to smear the paint in certain different ways.
Okay, what do you think a smock is?
It's like an apron that you wear over your...
Yeah, nicely done. Put up 50 points for your group. A smock is something you wear. They usually wear it, it's got some straps over their shoulders, and they wear it in their front. And as he said, he calls it an apron. Painters would call them smocks. So anyways, that's one of the things she wants is a smock, and it looks like it's going to cost her $9.75. But let's keep reading this here. It says that she has a coupon for $5.50 off. And then it says, what will be Monica's total cost after the discount? And then they ask the question, and you're going to see a couple like this. It says, what do I need to solve the problem? That's the question. And so the answer is, what do you need? You need the cost of all the supplies and the cost of the discount. And that's how they phrase it there. I need to find Monica's cost for the art supplies. And they give it to us right there. So you'll see some questions in this section that's asking you, what do you need to solve the problem? And then it says, how can I model with math? Well, here's one way to model it. Here's the total cost. This represents the total cost of everything that she has to purchase. And then you're going to subtract the $5.50. And you're going to end up figuring out that after you total all those and subtract $5.50, it's going to be $102.65. And then they ask the question here in the Convince Me, and I want you guys to do this one. It says, how could you decide if your answer makes sense? How could you decide after you figured out it's $102.65, Mr. Delgado, what could you do to see if it makes sense? What could you possibly do to see if it makes sense? Just a quick way to check it. Any idea? No idea? 20 points. Miss Guerin, what do you think? What's a quick way you could just check to see if it kind of makes sense?
Add up the 5.50 and 102 points.
Well, you've already done that. And so it's 102.65. That's the total. They give it to us. But, I mean, if you wanted to, if that's what you got, go ahead.
Add that plus the 550.
No, that wouldn't make any sense. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Mr. Cosgrove, 30 points. Any idea? No. Let me do one more. That was 30 points. Miss Jennings, 40 points. What do you think? Okay, she's not paying attention. 50 points. Mr. Hinkle, what do you think? Any idea? Yes, no? No? Okay. So look, these are the totals that you're adding up right here. $59.95, $24.95, $9.75, and $13.50. This is what I would do if I just wanted to check to see if it makes sense. $59.95, what could I round that to? 60. How about $24.95? What could I round that to? I would say 25. How about 975? What could I round that to? How about 1350? What could I round that to? I think I would just round it to 10, make it easy. What's 60 plus 10? No, sharpen your pencil now, thank you. 60 plus 10 is what? 80. What's 80 plus 25?
105.
105. 105. Is 105, whoops, is 105 close to 102?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. So I just rounded them and added them really quickly and easily. Now, how you phrase that in here is up to you. But I do expect you to fill in the convince me and put it in your own words. All right, let's drop down a little bit here. The guided practice. I'm going to help set these up, but I expect you guys to do them. It says Nate has $30.50, and he wants to buy his dog a sweater that costs $15, a toy that costs $3.79, and a leash that costs $14.79. How much more money does he need? Sounds like he's not going to have enough money. So what do you need to find? I'm looking at question 1 here. What do you need to find before you can solve the problem? Well, I'll answer this one for you. The total cost. Of all the items. Okay? I mean, unless you total them, you won't know. And then number 2, it says draw a bar diagram to represent the problem and then solve the problem. So I'm gonna help you out with this one. I'm gonna draw a bar diagram just to kind of show you what they're talking about. This is number 2 here. And let's see here. Here's my bar. All right. And one item was 15, another one was 3, another one. So 2 of them are about the same amount. And actually those are off a little bit. I'm going to do it a little differently, maybe a little bit more. Maybe like that and like that. And so the small one would be the 379. And then the 2 others, this one might be 15. And this one could be the 14.79. Okay? And then you would total those and show the equations you use to solve the problem. Well, 15 plus 14.79 plus 3.79 equals, and I'll put a question mark. And then whatever that equals, you're going to subtract 30.50. And then you'll know how much more money he needs. All right. Let's move down. I'm looking at the independent practice here. It says, Maria has $15. She buys a ticket to a movie and a smoothie. How much money does she have left? So, well, here's the ticket to the movie. Looks like that's going to be $9.50, and a smoothie is what? $2.85. Then, so number 3, it says, what do you need to find before you can solve the problem? The total of what?
The total money. The total of money she spent.
The total. Now you could just say it that way. You could say the total of what she spent, or you could be specific and say the total of the ticket and smoothie. Okay? Or as Miss Adams said, you could say that, total of what she spent, or the total of what she purchased. I mean, there's lots of different ways you could phrase it. Then it says, draw 2 bar diagrams to represent the problem. 2 bar diagrams. So, I'm not quite sure what they're looking for, but maybe something like this. Here's 1 bar. Actually, I'll actually draw one. Here's 1 bar. And here's another bar. And so I think for the largest bar, that's going to be how much money she's got. It's going to be, what, $15. And then the other one is going to be what she spent. The ticket's $9.50, and the smoothie is $2.85. I wish smoothies were $2.85 at the theater. It's more like 10 times that. And then whatever is right here is how much money I'll just put a dollar sign. She has left. And I'll just highlight that in blue right there. That's how much money she's going to have left. This is how much she spent. And this would be how much she started with. And then it says, what's the solution to the problem? Well, you're going to have to do some subtractions. Show the equations you use to solve the problem. I think you guys can do that. It's going to be $9.50 plus $2.85. And then whatever that is, you're going to subtract it from $15. $9.50 plus $2.85 equals, I'm just going to call it C for cost. And then whatever that answer is, it's going to be $15 subtract C equals, and I'll put a question mark. C equals cost, or what she spent. And I could even highlight that in red so you know what I'm talking about. And was that the last page, or is there another one? I don't remember. Let's see here. Okay, let's look at the last page here. Performance task. It says Audrey saving for a school trip. Oh, it's funny. I was talking to the office today about wanting to take you guys on a trip. We'll have to on a field trip. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I mean, there's lots of places I want to go. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Shh. So she needs $180. All right, so she needs 180. Wow, expensive trip they're going on. 180 for the bus ticket, 215 for the hotel. So we're not staying in any hotel. Sorry. And $80 for meals. Holy cow! It must be some nice meals. The table shows how much money she and her sister Kelsey have saved over a 4-month period. How much more money does Audrey need for the trip? Okay, so this is their savings. This is how much they've saved. And here's Audrey, and here's Kelsey. So Audrey, actually I'll do it this way. Audrey, in September, she saved this much, and then October, November, December. And then Kelsey, she saved this much, this much, this much for each month. What you'll want to do is total. I'm going to write this down here to make it easier for you guys. I'm just going to put total. And I'll extend this a little bit here. And so you're going to have to figure out the total for Audrey and the total for Kelsey. All right? And so number 6, it says, what are you trying to find? Now, they ask these questions once in a while. And they give you the answer. What are we looking for? It says, how much more money does Audrey need for the trip? That's the answer to number 6. That's the question. How much more money does Audrey need for the trip? What is number 6 asking? What are you trying to find? They just gave it to us right there. How much more money does Audrey need for the trip? You always do. You'll see this a lot. You'll see this a lot. Well, they'll ask you, what are you trying to find? Just look at the question they ask us. That's what we're trying to find. All right, number 7, it says, should you multiply Audrey's savings for September 4th by 4 since there are 4 months? Explain. I want you to think about that. You guys answer that question. I'm not gonna touch that one. And then finally, it says, draw a bar diagram to represent the total cost of Audrey's trip. Looks like they're not too worried about Kelsey's savings. And then find the total cost and savings. Oh, well, if you're finding the total, then I guess you would add them both up. I'm assuming. I don't know if they're just looking for Audrey's total or both of theirs totals. That's kind of a, I'm not sure. So I'm just going to put down both. So do it for both. The total for both right here. That one and that one. All right. So, and then draw bar diagrams to represent the total cost of Audrey's trip and the savings that she has. So you're going to have one bar for Audrey's cost, and I don't know which is going to be larger because I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to make them, I don't know if they're going to be the same or not. So one bar will be the cost, and I'm going to write down cost, and one will be her savings. So this is going to be, you'll break this down into the costs, which they gave us right here. Right here. 180 for the bus ticket, 125 for the hotel, and 80 for the meals. You're going to divide that bar up. And then another bar for her savings. And that's going to be divided up into 4 months. Right here, they give it to us, right there, 4 months. All right. Okay, that's it, I think. Let me go down a little further here. Was that it? Oh, no, one more. Write and solve the equation to determine how much more money Audrey needs for the trip. So it looks like she has not saved enough, otherwise they wouldn't be asking that question. So the first equation is going to be the cost, 180 plus 215 plus 80. 180 plus 215 plus, what was it, 80? Equals something. And then her savings. I'm going to highlight this. That's going to be her cost. And then you do the other equation, which is going to be her savings. That would go right in here. 4 months of savings that she's done. And that's going to equal something. All right? Okay.
Is that a 30 or an 80 at the
At the bottom right here, that's a 180 plus 215 plus 80. Okay. All right, that was a 20-minute video. Stop video recording.